Welcome everybody, here's a tutorial for the lead leg hook. Okay, this is actually my favourite shot. As I said to you in the text, it's one of the most surreptitious shots, you know, as in the one he would least expect, even if he's relatively skilled. The reason being is that obviously there's not much room here for power because your hip position, if you look at the conventional hook, my hip's here, so I've got a bit more power to bring that round. If for my lead leg, obviously we're working on a right hook here because of the camera, I don't have as much room for that, so there's not as much hip twist. This is why this one's quite a hard one to master, but it's a great shot if you can, you know, make it your own. So I'm going to show you some little tips on how to get the power and how to build that up, especially if you're a beginner. But I would probably work on a conventional hook first, so go back to that tutorial if you haven't watched that one yet. And obviously if you have landed on this before, looking at the introduction to preemptive striking and the fence, then obviously please go back to those first so you know what we're trying to achieve. Okay, as I said, this is my favourite shot. It's probably the most stealth shot that there is, whether it's from the left or the right, depends what hand you are. You know, I do it on the left as well, and I would recommend you do the same. But pick your best shot as your, you know, pick your main artillery, which if you're more powerful with the right, then obviously train your right, but don't forget to train your left. Because again, in a real situation, you never know what you might be given. You might set him up with a right, and then you might have to throw a lead leg. Okay, so it is worth practicing both, but obviously I know that we all favour our strongest side, and that's what you'd probably want to line someone up with if you are in a real situation. There'd be no point in me going into a fence this side if I know my right's a better shot. Does that make sense? Okay, so as with all the other strikes, get your hands conditioned, you know, try to just wear wraps. You know, you can buy those gel ones, they're pretty good. I did use those myself, but definitely, you know, don't wear a boxing glove. We want to get used to this connection with these knuckles, you know, bone on bone is what will be happening if it ever happens for real. So you kind of want to get a bit used to hitting without gloves, all right? But again, don't mess your hands up, especially if you're a professional fighter as well. Okay, so target, same again as the conventional hook. We're going on this line from the ear to the jaw, and exactly the same, I would aim for slightly back again, slightly back towards the ear, because again, the same, if he does lean back, I hit his chin. Okay, so the best way I found with this to try and create the power was what I did, because obviously we're working, when I showed you the conventional hook, we're standing with this 45 this way, okay, and we're coming in, and I said to get this motion going, turning this foot, okay, that's what we're doing with the conventional. But now we can't, I'll do a left actually. Now we want to be able to do it this way. As you can see, there's not as much power, and I'm having to turn this foot, not this one. Okay, does that make sense? So now I'm turning this foot to get that power. You'll feel it when you try this, especially if you've never thrown a punch. You'll know that that one's more powerful because there's just not enough there. All right, so get that motion going and get that breathing, and try and feel it coming up through the centre. Okay, and again, if you use the palm, it doesn't matter. Use the palm, hit that way or hit that way. Doesn't matter, okay? It's exactly the same as the conventional hook. I'm going to do it this side now because obviously I'm going to show you on the bob a right hook. So it'd be this way, and I'd be coming in and twisting this foot. And what we did when you started out with this, if you're really not used to punching, you stand like this, have your centre line right, and just kind of drop your weight, and then almost swing your arm and turn with both feet, just as if you're really not used to punching at all. Get this going on. And once you've got this, see I'm twisting with both feet. This one's turning that way, and so's that one as I transfer the weight. So drop the arm first and get this going on. Yeah? Just get this moving. And once you've done that a few times, then put your hand up and try and shorten it down. You'll see that I'm kind of even body weight here, because I'm already transferring my weights here, evenly distributed, but now I've got to kind of project some of it almost back. I'm not throwing it all into the front leg. I want to keep some weight back on this leg too. I'm almost stepping back into it, almost like a baby squat. Yeah? Obviously if you're short, you'll need to work around with that, and instead of projecting back, maybe sort of tip your body this way, like that. Yeah, it's the same sort of thing going on. Yeah? And then just slowly shorten it down. Shorten it down. And again, exactly the same with the other punches. If you are struggling at that, which you will, if you've never thrown a punch, start low first. Yeah? And then slowly work up. It's also quite good to have this hand here again, like I showed you, obviously I just want to get you getting the motion right before we work. Obviously don't be standing back here. Make sure you're still working here, just getting this motion right. If you're on a bag, have your antenna out, your fence from this distance, and shove it back again like I showed you in the cross. That will help you with your power. Okay, and again, once you get up to the jaw, you can do the same thing. See, I'm leaning down and back, and I'm bringing this arm backwards down here, like I showed you if you were shorter. Yeah? But obviously I'm not dropping it back first. I'm just drawing that straight line again, guys. Weights transferred, straight line, direct to that target. So what are you trying to say then? Yeah? All from the core, hitting with these two knuckles. Again, probably about 18 inches. Okay? So just get this motion going first. Yeah? Turn your feet, and then obviously when you get good at it, you won't have to turn your feet. You can do it all from the centre here. When I do it, my feet are quite planted, look. If you watch my feet, it's all from the hip and the core. Okay, but if you're starting out, don't obviously copy me, because you'll end up, it'll just all come from your arm. Build up to it. I don't mind if you turn your feet to start with. Okay, just get used to it, and then slowly plant yourselves back into the floor until you get that power. And if you are finding, which some of you might do, that it's all in your arm, yeah, then go back to the conventional hook, because you don't want to have your arm do the work. It's got to come from the core and the hip. Yeah, you've got to come from the centre. In the early days, some of it, I was going home with very, very tired arms. It doesn't help, honestly, if if your arm's taking over, because you'll feel it all in your shoulder, and it possibly will happen. And if that is happening, I would rest and then go back, just work on a conventional hook first. This is a difficult shot to master. It really is. It takes a lot of work. And again, you'll know if you're hitting hard. You really will. And obviously just try and get that as short as you can for the stealth aspect. Work your way closer and closer. But I don't care, guys, honestly, if you start from a distance first. But again, make sure you don't get your distancing wrong. And I said to you on the conventional hook, it's very tempting to come out here to create that power. You want to make sure you stay here. What I'm saying is drop your hand lower if you're struggling to start with, and then slowly bring it back to your fence. Yeah, don't come over here, because again he'll see that. All right, it would be tempting, you know. You need to make sure that you stay in your fence, okay? Because obviously we would be working this side if I had set him up with a cross, and then I would just want to throw this left hook this time, but my lead leg is my left now. Yeah? Do you see what I mean? It's the same position, and obviously because you're practicing both sides, what you might want to do is after you've done all your right crosses and your right hooks and your uppercuts, stay in this position and throw a lead leg left. But if you're right-handed, then your lead leg left will feel pretty weak until you've done a few shots of it. So if you want to just work all four on one side, change your foot position to throw the lead leg right. Does that make sense? So in fact, that's what I do. When I'm practicing all four, I'll perhaps do a few, I don't know, 100 crosses. Yeah, then I'll do 100 uppercuts maybe from this position, and then I'll do 100 hooks, and then I'll change my foot and do 100 lead leg hooks. So that would be my four covered on the right hand side, and then I would go to this stay in this stance and work my left crosses, yeah, and then my left hooks, because obviously I'm in my fence already, and then my left uppercuts, and then obviously, you know, I would work that lead leg now being the left. But you could do it the other way round, you know, again, it doesn't matter. It's not a shot I'd recommend you throw unless you're very, very certain with it. You know, practice it a lot, get used to it. Honestly, look at the conventional hook before you start practicing this one if you've never thrown a punch, because, you know, trying to find power and accuracy from such a short range with no hip power is quite challenging. But, you know, that's the beauty of it, make it challenging. And again, exactly the same applies. Ask your brain engaging question. So what are you trying to say then? Yeah? Make it ferocious. Use your Kime and make it your own. Okay? I hope you found this one useful. Again, if you want more information on the lead leg hook, then get in touch and I'll do another video. But hopefully I've covered everything. I really don't mind if you start like this, but again, just don't get any bad habits of getting your distance wrong, okay? You just really want to get used to throwing them from here. You know, work on accuracy first again. Just get this from here. Do this. Get your accuracy and then work towards power. Yeah? Just work to it, guys. It's not going to happen overnight. All right? I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.